guys, welcome to today's video. Today is Face of the Month for September, which is kind of like a favorites, but it's a little different than the other favorites that you have seen and I have seen, where many people just go over everything that they bought and what worked and what didn't. I'm just putting stuff in my face that I really liked without using the word favorite. So for foundations, there were several things. It was a good month for foundation and a good month for eyeshadows. For foundation, I looked at the Jones Road, which I loved. I looked at the Westman Atelier, which I loved. I looked at the Patrick Ta, which I did not love. And I looked at the House Labs, which I loved. But it does have alcohol in it, and the shades are a little different. But I just saw Angie's video, which I'm going to post in my House Labs, and she also did the Hourglass. I'm going to post in there too, but I'll put it right up here. And Angie went on site instead of Sephora site on their sites to help get color matched. So I'm going to try that for both of them and revisit both of them. The thing about House Labs, even though I thought it made my skin look really beautiful, and I don't have enlarged pores, and I think that makes a difference. If you do, what Angie says probably works for you. If you have oilier skin, what Angie says probably works for you. But I don't have oily skin and I don't have enlarged pores. I thought House Labs was beautiful, but the color was hard. Speaking of color, I'm trying something new today. I actually have a silk outside reflecting the sun back in here because the light is changing as the season moves along, and I change the color temperature of this light over here, but I still feel like I'm kind of yellow on this side, kind of white on this side, because the silk I'm using is bright white, and I have an umbrella right here for fill. This is what it looks like when it's not on. It's not great if you're looking for color. So I put this lamp here, well, it's not a lamp, it's an umbrella light, to kind of fill everything, so there's a lot of light on this side, not a lot on this side, but it's uneven light because this is not as cool. You know what I'm going to do? Because it does look better with even light and a shadow rather than having yellow, so I'm just going to move this away and we'll just have a little bit of a shadow. Sorry, sometimes things happen before we get into it. I want to put on another umbrella light that is cooler and see if that helps. Not so much. Not so much. We're just going to leave it as it is, you guys. Let me know which way you prefer, with that light, which is a different color, or with a little bit more shadow here. Anyway, I really couldn't decide this morning, even when I've been thinking about this for a couple of days, and which foundation should I use, because the Westman Atelier and the Jones Road both have a very your skin but better kind of look. They don't give you a lot of coverage, but I love them. And just yesterday I went out to run a few errands and I just put on my sunscreen. When I came home, I thought, okay, now time to do my skincare and everything. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put some of this on because I kind of like that look I have going on. The Westman Atelier is a little bit too light for me in shade 2, but shade 3 is too warm for me. And this one stretches out a bit, so it looks like a better color. However, I haven't put on the Westman Atelier in a couple of days, so we're going to do that. Here we go. And all you need is 2 drops for this. And look at that. I mean, she's the queen of packaging. 1, 2. Usually does it for me. I think this shade will be really nice for me in a couple of months, but right now I think most of us are kind of the darkest that we ever are. Well, here in California at least, because we have warm weather quite a bit later than most people do. If I wanted to, I could just put it over those red areas and kind of call it a day. But I don't. I want to put it all over the face. It feels really, really lovely. I'm wearing the Can Make sunscreen today. But my sunscreen has had a long time to actually sink in, so I'm going to have to do two more little drops. Usually, if I just put my sunscreen on in the last 10 minutes, I can get the foundation to stretch a lot more. And now I'm just going to kind of pat so everything stays where it is. Because the more you stretch like this, the more you get it off, or the more I get it off, the redness of my cheeks, which is where I want it to stay. And voila, I think it is so, so, so pretty. And I can't wait until it's a little bit of a better shade for me. Just in about a month or so, I think it's going to be ideal. Now, the Charlotte Tilbury powder and concealer. This concealer is probably a good shade because it's lighter than what I usually do, but there's a lot of coverage here. And it's tricky when you have foundation on that doesn't have a lot of coverage. It's better to go in with one of these two, for instance. The Clinique, which the e.l.f. is a total dupe for because they're lighter coverage, but they're not new. So I'm going to try this, but I'm just going to do the teeniest little bit. But I am going to get it on my eyes so we can prep for the eyeshadow. I have been wearing this nonstop since I got it. There have been a couple of videos I shot where, you know, the color wasn't going to work, and I went to the Lancome, which I have in a couple of colors. But this is great coverage. It's more of a thicker consistency, like the Kosas and the Clinique, but it doesn't really crease or do anything weird. I might get a little bit of troughing, but nothing horrible going on, and I'm just really kind of impressed because that is hard for older skin. And then to finish, I think you know what, I think it's okay. It doesn't look like too much, and I can always go in with a beauty blender later on if I change my mind and just kind of take a little bit off, but I think it's fine. And if I wanted to, again, not the right shade for it, I could put just a dot on the cheeks. I do find though that concealer is thicker than foundation and it doesn't look all that great on the skin. Better to layer up your foundation if that's what you want to do. But I'm not going to get into tutorials. Ugh. I am going to powder my lids. Lids powdered, let's get into eyeshadow. I think that my two favorites were probably from Chanel, and they were both the tweed. There's something very special about these color stories to me. And I did a comparison when I did the tweed, the brown and gold one, I can't remember the name, to another one from Chanel, but the colors are different. They look, oh, this is kind of the same thing, but they're different. But the evening one, while I love it, love it, love it, I think the one I probably use the most is Brume et Rose, which is this one. And that's what we're going to do on the eyes. I think I've done this a couple of times already. So the first shade I'm going in with is this one. This is very sheer. If you want it to be deeper, you can get it that way. Just you're going to be building up a little bit. So very, 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 very sheer. Now I'm going to go in with this one with the same brush and work it where I would have a crease if I had one. I'm really seeing those eyebrow hairs that I have to tweeze them because they're not like up here, they're all over here. But that serum works. And then I'm going to go in with this darker right by the lash line. This brush might be actually a little too big, but we're going to do it anyway. It is a little too big, so instead of just at the lash line, I'm just going to kind of be doing the outer third. So clearly, I probably should have gone with the House Labs because it looks more like foundation and it has more coverage. With this is more like your skin but better, and when you're doing an eye that's a little more complicated, if it's not a one and done or something really sheer, it might look a little bit off with the foundation, but it is what it is. Now I'm going to go into this Kosas powder with this brush and just kind of do a little blend up here to make sure that there's a really pretty fade. And it is time. I'm going to have to powder my face because there is some tack to this. And I don't remember, it's been a while since I reviewed it. I can't remember if this is the one that actually kind of dries down over time or if that was the Jones Road. I think it was the Jones Road. Going in with my By Terry because I'm going to use a powder blush and I don't want anything to stick. And a little bit under the eyes. This Charlotte Tilbury it really doesn't need any setting, and there's no troughing at all. I mean, there's a teeny bit of troughing, but it's not like a crease, a line of troughing. It's really impressive. There we go. I got 3 blushes from Gucci, and I kept these 2. And this one is Rosy Tan or Rosy Nude. It's weird. It says one thing here and another thing on the Sephora site. And this one I think is called Bright Coral, but it's called something else on the website, or it's something else here. Of course I can't read it because I don't have my readers on. I was so surprised how fresh and lovely this looked. And I was thinking I might do this because it would go better with this eye. But because the eye is very soft, maybe I will do this. It's really, really pretty. Hi, Gracie. Hi, what's up? I cleaned in here last night. I think she's confused. Like, why doesn't it look like a bomb went off anymore in this room? And you know what? While I was cleaning, you guys, I decided I am going to have to do a declutter video because it is scary town. I got way too much. It's a very small room. I have very limited storage, and it's time for me to cull some things that have been around for too much. Let me know if that sounds like something you'd be interested in seeing. All right, now I do want to do my mascara, and you know what I got? I got this Overcurl in this limited edition color, which is so, so pretty. So let's just do that. It's warm, which is, you know, probably not what you want when you have a cool palette on, but I don't care. Really soft and pretty. And I use the Overcurl in the black, the small one that I had the other day. It's just fluttery, lovely lashes. And I almost feel like I'll keep the look very pretty and soft and not do the lining up here, which I usually do. Let's talk about lips. So, not a lot of lip choices this month. In fact, I think it's possible that the only thing I got was this from Jones Road, which is actually quite nice. That's not true. I got the Dior's, but the Dior's are so, so, so scented. I can't say that they're a favorite. I thought that I was really able to do a prettier look with the one that is a gloss. Well, not a gloss, but whatever the word is. The Addict, the Dior Addict, maybe it's called Glow, than I did with the Velvet, which is usually what I prefer, but that Velvet was a little bit more warm than I expected it, and both of them were super, super scented. But I think the scent on those is different than the other ones. I think, because it says 1947 Miss Dior. I'm not familiar with the scented Miss Dior. It was never my thing, but I have a feeling they perfumed those lipsticks like Miss Dior, because the refill I got for this beautiful, beautiful thing is not as scented. Yes, there's a little bit of a scent, but it's not like I can taste it. So this is the Jones Road, which I think is lovely. I haven't done my eyebrows yet, which we'll need to do. But let's just take it off and show you this one, which won't have as much color. And I'll write down below, because it is refill, I think I'm going to need a magnifying glass to tell you what the color is. I think it's nude. But it's lovely. And this is something, yes, I am worried about it getting dirty. I really shouldn't have it on this table, which is dirty. And I should probably have it, you know, in my bag. Because look how pretty. It's just, this is the thing, you know, you're out to lunch, I totally do not agree with putting on your makeup, lipstick, whatever at the table. I just don't like that. But if you did, you would have to pull it out of something like this. You know what I mean? Ew, let me just touch up my lips. My dad had a girlfriend who was really like his wife, but they didn't get married because she was getting a lot of money in alimony. And yeah, but they were together for like 10 years, I think. And it's the first time I saw a woman reapply lipstick at the table. I thought, oh my God, that's unheard of. Really fresh, lovely look. I do want to do a little bit of brow, but you know what? I'm going to do that off camera. And I'm going to get my little Dyson out and do a couple of twirly-durlies with my hair and change into something else and just, you know, just present the final look. Back in a flash. So if I do the Dyson and don't let everything cool and just kind of run my fingers through it, it just gives me a little bit of something really quick. I just did like 4 strands, well, 4 sections. And this is my final look for Face of the Month. And I really like it quite a bit. I hope you like it too. And I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.
Lucy! Let's go! Let's go! What? Let's go! Let's go!